I don't think I ever bought that house entirely for my parents. That's the part I avoided admitting for a long time. I told myself it was about stability. Their rent kept increasing. My father's knees were getting worse. My mother hated moving every few years because landlords decided to sell or renovate or suddenly remembered they had relatives who needed the place. All of that was true, but underneath it was another truth that sounded uglier when spoken aloud. I thought permanence might make me feel like I still belonged to them. I had lived overseas for 11 years by then, long enough for my accent to soften around certain words, long enough that relatives started introducing me as the daughter who works abroad, instead of simply my name. I missed funerals, missed birthdays, sent expensive gifts with apologetic notes, and every time someone praised my generosity, I felt strangely replaceable. So when I bought the house, I convinced myself I wasn't expecting anything emotional in return. I even believed it for a while. The house itself wasn't extravagant. Small front garden, quiet street, a converted garage. My father immediately started calling his workshop, even though he barely built anything anymore. My mother cried when she saw the kitchen. That memory complicated everything later. Because people who genuinely love you can still fail you in ordinary ways. The housewarming party happened 3 months after they moved in. I didn't know about it directly. My mother mentioned being busy this weekend during a short phone call, and something in her voice felt careful. Too careful. I remember standing in a grocery store aisle after we hung up, staring at canned soup while a strange feeling settled in my stomach. Then photos appeared online that evening, my cousins in the backyard. My Uncle Victor holding a beer beside the grill, my father smiling wider than I'd seen in months. Everyone looked comfortable there, comfortable enough not to notice who was missing. I wish I could say I handled it maturely immediately, but mostly I kept refreshing the photos, trying to understand whether there had been some mistake. Around midnight, Victor sent me a video. No explanation attached. The camera moved through the kitchen while people laughed in the background. Someone was opening another bottle of wine. Then Victor's voice. People leave home for 10 years and think money replaces family. A woman laughed. Another voice said, she bought the house because she feels guilty. More laughter. Then Victor again, louder this time. This fool thinks she can buy our respect for money. The thing I remember most isn't the sentence. It's that nobody objected. Not my father, not my mother. Nobody. I watched the video 4 times sitting alone at my dining table, not crying, not angry, just embarrassed in a deep, exhausting way, because part of me suddenly worried they had seen through something I barely admitted to myself. I didn't respond to the video. That surprised everyone later. My family was used to emotional management from me. I solved tensions quickly, sent reassuring messages, smoothed misunderstandings over before they became uncomfortable. This time I disappeared quietly instead. Calls became shorter. I stopped sending extra money outside the mortgage and utilities. I stopped checking whether everyone was okay every few days, and almost immediately, things around the house started unraveling, not dramatically. Just realistically, Victor had apparently helped coordinate some renovations through friends who did cheap work without paperwork. The garage conversion wasn't properly permitted. Electrical modifications had been done informally. Someone filed a complaint with the county after construction debris sat outside too long. 3 weeks after the video, I woke up to 53 missed calls. My mother sounded terrified when I finally answered. There's an officer here asking for property documents. I flew home 2 days later. The county compliance office meeting happened in a gray building that smelled faintly like old carpet and printer toner. My parents sat beside me looking exhausted. Victor kept talking too much, trying to explain things nobody had asked him. Then the compliance officer entered, professional, calm, mid-50s maybe. She opened the file, reviewed the documents briefly, and asked, who is the legal property owner? The room went quiet. Victor started answering anyway until she interrupted politely. I need the owner to respond directly. Something changed in the room after that. Not power exactly, reality. For months, everyone had treated the house emotionally as family space, shared achievement, social symbol. But legality didn't care about family narratives. Responsibility had a name attached to it, mine. The officer explained the violations clearly. Fines could be reduced if corrective permits were filed quickly. Certain work needed inspection. Insurance issues might arise later if left unresolved. While she spoke, I noticed everyone slowly turning toward me whenever decisions appeared. The same people who mocked my attachment to the house suddenly needed my authority connected to it. And honestly, didn't feel satisfying. Just sad. Afterward, my father asked quietly, can this still be fixed? I told him yes. Victor barely looked at me the rest of the afternoon. My mother spent the evening pretending normal conversation could erase everything. She asked whether I was eating enough overseas, mentioned weather, offered tea every 20 minutes. At one point, I walked through the hallway and noticed framed family photos covering the walls. Birthdays, graduations. I appeared in almost none of them. Strangely, that hurt less than I expected. Maybe because by then I finally understood something important. You can support people for years without ever becoming central to how they see themselves. Before leaving, I arranged the legal corrections. transferred certain responsibilities formally, and explained future financial help would be structured differently. Nobody argued. As I drove to the airport the next morning, my mother texted, "Come visit when things calm down." I read the message at a red light. Then I placed the phone face down beside me and kept driving.